Sorry, I apparently lost my page here. I get fidgety like when I'm not paying attention to things and I just start scrolling my scroll wheel. There it is. I found it. So I have a 15 on my con save. What's your DC? 14, 15. It'd be 8 plus 3 plus your charisma modifier. 2. So 13. So I take half damage?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's probably on your spell
2d10
page.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's on my spell card somewhere. 13.
13 was the total?
Yep. I mean, half damage, so if you need it. So DC was what?
13. And what'd you roll on your
9.
bolt? 9 to hit or 9 damage?
To hit.
Okay, that's nice. And so, yeah, so all of a sudden, boom, Moonbeam just pops down on this thing, and a bolt goes flying by its head, and it kind of, and you hear it just kind of like yelling in pain, like, ow! Both of you can make perception checks.
That's going to be an 18.
11.
And you are able to see a raptor on, I'm assuming like you're watching like the left and you're watching the right kind of thing. Or are you both trying to like watch everywhere?
Well, if it's too... Oh, so...
Well, let's just say like for point of origins, let's just say like where the raptor is in front of everyone. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're now like that's now the 12 o'clock. So like I don't know if you want to try to watch, you know, you both are trying to watch actively like a 360, or if you're trying to like watch like the left and you're trying to watch the right, or vice versa, or something like that. Or
one of those 4 directions is blocked by a rock, so...
right, yeah. So yeah, so yeah. For actually, I'm sorry, that's a good point. At this point, so it'd be the equivalent of like the, again, if the raptor is 12 o'clock, then the rock would be your 9 o'clock. So it'd be like the 12 to 7 is your open area, or technically like 11 to 7. So are you guys splitting the watched area? Okay. So you do see one, you do catch the sight line of one. You see like leaves and vegetation shifting a little bit. And you see like the very itty bitty bit of a tail kind of poking up. As you know, it seems like it's crouched down trying to move beneath the visible vegetation.
Of course. Alright. And how far away is it?
It's closing in. It's about 40 feet off.
He's gonna sit there and laugh at it.
I was just thinking, well, it worked once before, why not try it again? Gust of wind.
Strength check?
Strength check.
Strength. Yeah. I have a 20 this time.
That's fine. But now it's like moving even slower.
Yeah, so it doesn't get pushed back, but it moves at half speed, right?
Yep.
All right.
And it knows its cover's been blown.
Or it just thinks a big windstorm is
blown.
kicked up.
Blown.
Also shout out, be like, found one!
Yeah, so as soon as it gets hit with a blast of wind, you hear it, you hear it speaking, but you hear a sound coming from its direction. Like, what? What? Wind? What? What? Meanwhile, the original one that you hear, you hear that one yelling like, light hurt, light pain.
I will yell back at it. There are more of us than you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, again, now it's a bluffing contest between
Line
them.
up for head count.
I'm just very confused by the question. Yes.
Deception check, sir.
Yeah, because Mizr's a boss at that.
Well,
That's about right. Mizr does not deceive.
well, but not again. Technically, by Mizr's standards, he'd be completely confident. He's like
Right.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
True. You did say there would be more, and you've only identified one so far. But yeah, so yeah, you're like, there's more of us. Are you sure? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm 3. I'm over 5. Amazing deception, since it doesn't matter.
Would Neriah like to do anything? You haven't identified another raptor yet, but there still are the two that have been. Are you just keeping a lookout?
So keep
Okay.
I'll say, can we do a quick swap around, please?
Okay.
So I'll just swap around, and I'll just spin around and spit the guest back at this one now, the one that was initially going after.
Okay.
So now he has to make a strength check.
Tristan want to do anything, or other than
Neriah's just like getting ready to baseball swing then.
so let's go into initiative order here, just so we can maintain some balance between actions.
Balance is overrated.
That's 11. I mean, if they're just stalking us, then
I just want to make sure that everyone's getting a fair share of action, so to speak. You know what I mean?
gosh,
I know what I want to do.
those Velociraptors.
Holding your
I feel bad for them when they do end up,
Tristan, initiative.
8.
Thaumaturgy.
As usual, try not to murder these things.
Mizr.
19.
Neriah.
12.
Jorell.
Also 12.
Who has the better dex between the two of you? Neriah and Jorell.
Mine's a 14.
13.
Jorell it is.
I'm slightly more flexible.
She has reach, but you have flexibility.
Exactly. She has reach. I just stay way further out of reach.
What is it? Threatening reach.
I don't know. I can never remember.
I thought you played the Mass Effect series.
So Mizr's up first in this moment.
How far off is the one
40
that had the
feet.
tail up?
40 feet.
I can get on that then, so I will charge that.
So you come charging out of the bubble.
Yeah.
So from the raptor's point of view, all of a
It
sudden
sees me.
you materialize in a full charge at it.
Yep. And then at the last, while
Question
going,
mark.
I'll have the maul coming at it. So I will attack it with.
Here comes the migraine maker.
My unnamed maul that I can't say his name yet because I don't know it.
The migrainer.
13 to hit. Probably not.
13 is a hit.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor guy.
I said I'm not food. And I will smite the crap out of it with this level 2 spell. $33. I said I'm not food. I didn't mean to kill it. I'm sorry, I dogged it so hard.
That doesn't kill it. But. So you're just. I like you like
I love how
2 feet, or your front 2 paws, or so to speak, in this particular situation, your front arms launch you off. You pull out the maul out of nothing as it just like forms up out of the 2 palms of your hands.
I'm getting good at that.
Swing while you're still in like mid-air and like go just straight for like the ribs, and you hear just crack 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 crack. Ow! And launches it up into the air towards back in the kind of the direction of the other raptor. Now, what's interesting, and I'm assuming you're all watching this to some degree, In midair,
In and out of the bubble.
you see it change from a raptor into what looks like a human female, and then boom, 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 hits the ground. The raptor that you had the moonbeam on and that you're now Gust of Winning, you hear screech, Laura! And starts charging towards that direction. It's being pushed a little bit away from you guys as it's charging in that direction.
They wouldn't understand those words though, so Mizr will yell.
All they heard was screeching.
Mizr will yell. Hold!
They saw the transformation, but
Stop
all they heard was
attacking!
screeching.
All is not as it appears here. In case they didn't see the woman form.
All right. So
Jorell, drop your bubble.
I'll drop the bubble. I'll pop speak with animals, and I'll start walking out towards them.
Okay.
And I will kind of be Jorell's muscle as I start going toward them as well. I say, don't attack him. Don't eat him.
Keep my eyes out still for more.
Good. Roll perception.
All right.
Oh, fuck. No.
Tristan perceptioning, or is he just standing there?
5. Still in shock.
All the dinosaurs on this island are humans. Mind.
Is Tristan doing? So Neriah doesn't see any other dinosaurs.
Were-raptors.
That brings us to Tristan. What would Tristan like to do?
I'm going to stick with my original plan. So I'm going to use thaumaturgy because I can use it to create a sound. And since I heard the Tyrannosaurus roar yesterday, and I'm going to guess that he's kind of the apex predator, so hearing the roar from like over there hopefully will get any of the others like, oh, maybe we should be going now. So
Okay, so you're gonna mimic a T-Rex.
yep,
Cool.
thaumaturgy.
Booming T-Rex noise, growl, scream. With that, Neriah can actually make another perception check.
That's 11.
You hear a T-Rex nearby.
No, it was good enough. All of a sudden, you see another raptor stand up, straight up out of the vegetation, and quickly start darting its head around, and it then starts to cautiously start making like say your guys' bubble is here, and you have one knocked over this way, and then the one charging this way, so they're kind of congregating here. This one's back here. It's not moving in a straight line. It starts cautiously going out and around, but it seems like it's starting to it wants to make its way. Its end goal is to end up with the other two.
Oh, the bubble's down. I've already
Okay, yeah.
beeline
So
for
the bubble's down, but still, it's still going around
around
you guys. It's
Okay.
trying to maintain some sort of distance. Also trying to. It seems like it's doing its best. And you're not really like an animal handler. You don't have a lot of experience, but. If this was a person, you would feel like they're going out of their way to not look in your direction. Like they're like, I don't see you, I don't see you. If I don't look at you, I'm not threatening you. Like I'm just gonna go around. Like like we're cool. Like just let me get my peeps. Like, but it is it's hauling ass. Like it takes dash action and it closes the gap. You just saw it just jet 100 feet. But again, because it's going in a wide, it's giving you guys a wide berth. It's gonna take another minute to get there.
All right.
The other raptor closes in on the wounded girl, and Mizr.
I will hollow out, we are not food, but we could be friends.
The initial raptor that you've heard speaking in its animal form, speaking to you in animal. Speaking to your raptor with your animal talking, which you will now understand as well. It's looking at you, and just.
I'll let the maul form back and take a stance of just backing away, sit down. It's obviously being protective, and I'm not going to make it any worse.
Yeah, it's kind of it's making mostly animal noises, and even though you understand what it's saying, it's mostly just being like, you know, an aggressive growl, but you kind of hear faintly, like hidden underneath this growl, like just like, I love her.
So, knowing what Mizr, Mizr is going to be intimidating, I will take steps back, let Jorell more.
Your
hopefully.
action, sir.
I'll walk forward and I'll be like, I'll basically say, back off, fool, I can help her. And if you touch me...
Mimicking his sound.
He's still about 10 feet from her. He's still trying to like slowly sidestep towards her a little bit, but he's also at the same time slightly stepping back away from you. So like say like if you were right here and she's on the ground here, he's kind of moving towards her, but also creating more space between you and himself. So he's trying to close the gap on the girl, but also trying to maintain and create more distance between you and himself.
So I'll just kind of give that just while I'm approaching her, I'll give him that constant look of just like, try me, bro.
Watching you.
Try me.
Watching you.
Do it. Go on. I dare you. Yeah, and I will go up and I will examine this girl.
She has a very like barbarian-esque tribal look to her. She's wearing like some semblance of like leather, you know, like clothing. Very dirty, but pretty girl underneath the dirt, presumably. I mean, if that's what you're into. But yeah, she
don't be claiming
has just a giant, you know, like you can tell all her ribs are broken on this side. She has a giant, you know, like purple, you know, bruise going all the way across her torso. It's still like pink and red and inflamed. She just got hit in the side by a nasty maul. And she is completely unconscious and you know, shallow breathe, straining to breathe with all the cracked ribs.
So yeah,
not in good shape.
Mizr legitimately feels bad. Aww.
I'll hear Bestor say, "Oh, but not the time yet." I'll reach down and I will, yeah, I'll just kind of like turn her over and just kind of a healing word.
Okay.
Kind of work on stabilizing her and getting her.
Do a little Reiki.
And if she wakes up, does she wake up?
Yes, she does wake up. She starts.
I will just be like, "Be gone."
What's going on?
Even in this form, she is making raptor sounds. She's not speaking like common or any sort of normal humanoid sort of language. She is still screeching. Like you both understand her, you know, with the speak animals or animals, you know, speak with animals. She's stay away from me, don't hurt me,
I'll just
please.
call him. I helped you.
He's the one that hurt you.
She looks over, you know, she looks in total fear of you, and then looks over at the raptor that was trying to close the distance. Blast, please help me. Don't let them finish me.
I would not hurt you.
I'll
thought
hold
you
up
were
my
trying
hand.
to
I'll be
teach
like,
us.
I kind of like motions like, I brought her back, as I said I would. Does it look like I'm going to hurt anyone?
With that, the third raptor that you've noticed and had been, you know, jetting around is like quickly again trying to give you guys a wide enough berth so it doesn't seem like it's being overly aggressive, but it is trying to close in on the girl. So all of a sudden it comes around from like your right. It's about 20 feet from you, but it's tall and ass going like 100 feet around. It comes around and closes in. It's still basically, and it's about 10 feet from you and the girl, but it's there like as support. And just eyeballing, not even like looking at the other two raptor, the raptor or the girl, just eyeballing you and Mizr. And the initial raptor that had already closed in you see it start shifting its shape and becomes like this tribal barbarian-looking man wearing just like a leathery loincloth, also dirty and ratty, nasty hair. Goes over and scoops up the girl.
I'll let him.
Do we remember, or out of character, what the person's name is that we're here to find? Was that ever?
You were looking for the Copper Knight.
But there's no name or anything. Just the Copper Knight.
Just the Copper
but we
Knight.
know it as the Copper Knight.
Yeah, that's how it's described, or how the thing was.
Before they just run off.
Roger, whatever. Yeah, Roger was last seen with the Copper Knight, and the Copper Knight was last seen heading this direction.
Before they just, dart off, I will say, we are not food. We are here looking for the Copper Knight. Perhaps you can... And leave that kind of trailing. Means nothing.
The girl's just, again, screeching to these two, but to you, like, Copper Knight, like the darkness?
It's a building. And Mizr will make a thing. It's a building, giant building that has a pyramid type top.
Oh.
We should be close.
The man structure. Yes. And that way, you two just see this girl, like, in this guy's hands, just pointing in the direction that you guys had already been traveling. Just
Totally should have taken tongues.
That is where we're going.
I'll ask. Would you like more healing before you go off?
When you make that motion, the one that's still in the raptor form is kind of like very protective, just like watch the hands, buddy.
Hey, ask them.
Would you like more?
Blast. He's. I don't know about this thing, but I suppose
I will make her even better, so that she is not near injured.
The one still as the raptor still in raptor form is again screeching and just you make one wrong move, you're gonna lose that hand if you make one wrong move. I'm telling you. Slow.
I'll sit here and I'll just boom, healing word.
No slow about it. Like, Brah!
Like you snap and it flinches for a second. Like,
So then 10 more hit points back to her.
Okay.
Just be like, just cross my arms and be like, oh, you were saying?
You really should be more careful what you consider food.
You really should be more
Mizr
careful
says
who
with a
you talk to
smile.
with that tone. Raptor.
So the girl feels better enough that like she starts to try to like wiggle a little bit, like she's trying to get out of the man's arms that she's referred to as Flast. Like, are you sure? Are you okay, Lori? Yeah. Let's just get out of here. And she seems like she winces a little bit in pain, but she again changes her shape into her raptor form again, and starts to not as quickly as presumably she normally would, but she starts to kind of trot off away from you, just like the whatever direction is the closest to just strictly away from you guys, away from the group of you. And the man also falls, this doesn't make us even, changes back into his raptor form and starts to fall behind, and the other one is like backing up, like just watching you guys the whole time. And then quickly just turns his head around, starts to run off, stops, pauses, looks behind itself again, and then boom!
God.
Oh no, you didn't.
What's that about?
I'll just pick up my staff and be like,
Oh yeah,
know we're heading
you
in the
didn't
right
understand
direction.
a single word of any of that.
What the hell?
Neither
was
of
that?
The Baron.
Screeching, and there were dinosaurs that turned into people, and then back into what the?
Well, that might be something we discover later, or hopefully we never have to deal with this again. Anyways, that way.
Jorell just shakes it off, like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, let's just go.
She's like, what if they can all do that?
I mean, I have a feeling there's more of this going on, but I'd rather just not try to track them down or anything. I'm sure if the being that watches over us above us wishes this to be something, it would be more breadcrumbs.
Her name's Cern.
Cern? Is that who you follow? What?
I hear she likes muffins.
Do you have religion? You have religion, don't you?
Yes.
Roll...
No, actually, I don't have religion.
Okay, well, you can roll religion either way, whether you're Christian or not.
Not in the tray. It's not. Sticking tray. Okay. 19.
The goddess of pastries?
Yeah. I mean, I do remember meeting her one time, but what does she have to do with anything?
More than you.
I remember that bakers used to pray to her to make their cupcakes fluffy and delicious.
There was a feast I had in Elysium. It was wonderful. Yes, and she was there. All the other gods were there. It was great. So you follow the baker.
Who are you?
Good than the candlestick maker. Survival check to find your direction. Well, I mean, they just pointed the direction out, so...
Are we trusting them? Yeah, probably.
Anyone that wants to actually roll survival to get their own bearings, but the direction was pointed out.
So advantage?
Yes, with advantage, yes. Yes, if you choose a roll, you roll with advantage.
21.
That way.
And we're off.
You travel through this day with little encumbrance as far as encounters. Mostly just slopping through a jungle at a fair, whatever fair pace you choose. I'm assuming, again, you're kind of going on the quicker side. You assume it's going to be at least another day and a half's travel before you get there, just because it's thick terrain. You're having to, no matter how fast you go, you can only move so fast. And, it is what it is. But you get through this day, the rest of this day, uneventfully. You find a fairly defensible position to make camp that night. Bing! Pops his bubble, which you're now all familiar with and have actually tested to some extent. It's field tested now. And I will leave you to let me know what you want to do before turning in for a long rest.
If there's any mice or anything around, I will try to speak with animals and just see how close we are. More importantly, see if I can find something to maybe lead us there. Knowing that we're getting close, but...
So the one thing that, especially you two nature-y people have noticed, but it's now that you've spent some time on the island, the one thing that stood out more than anything is, as much as it seems rowdy and populated, and there's lots of random animal noises, occasional weird loud roars from presumably large beasts, dinosaurs, there are no birds. You have not seen any kind of flying creature in any way, shape, or form on this island. At first, you thought maybe you just hadn't seen any. There was no seagulls when you arrived at the island.
Beyond the norm.
There's been no birds in the trees. You have not seen anything flying. Anytime you get to any kind of clearing where, like, the canopy breaks, there's nothing flying overhead. So that is something that you have observed that has stood out.
Perhaps climbing above the tree line would not be a good idea.
And you are able to find various small creatures, rodents, or whatever.
Questions that I ask. Dinosaurs turn to people here?
What's a dinosaur?
Giant lizard beasts?
Oh, they don't turn to people where you're from?
No. Do they all do that?
No, not all.
Are you person?
Are you people?
No.
Thank you.
That's the gist of the story. It was much more broken and less intellectual. And first you had to explain what a dinosaur was, then you had to explain what people were. Then you had to kind of break things down and dumb things down for the low intelligent creature that you're trying to communicate with. But the long and short of the story was, most of the dinosaurs here turn to people. Not all the dinosaurs here turn to people.
Which I relay.